Well, friends, we're back sooner than expected, but that's okay. So, a couple of days ago, we got some European Nightcrawlers, and I didn't think much of it. Put them in, and I figured, well, they like to be at a deeper level in here. They'll probably just dig down in here. Now we're in the basement, and I thought, well, I don't want to stress them out too much. I'm not going to like train them. They're probably going to be fine. We have found probably 4 or 5 corpses of them that have made it through the carpet here in this part of the basement into different areas in here. And I think that's okay. 5 or 6, not a big deal. But yesterday we found one that was still alive on the carpet, moving around. And so I went to put him back in here. And when I did, I noticed they were all kind of around the edge here. Now, is that because of the high pressure? Like we had a really strong hail a couple days ago. Yesterday we had thunderstorms pretty much all day. So I was like, that's just strange that they're circulating around. Like they were all up, well, not all, but a lot of them were up here. So I thought, you know what? They're probably stressed. They just came across the country. There's weird weather systems. They're in a new bin. And I don't know. I figured it probably can't hurt to put some food in here just to give them something to focus on. I I was cleaning out the freezer and I realized that I have this that I think is probably from last summer. I'm not sure, but I think it's from last summer. So it's frozen. It looks like berries, some grapes, maybe some eggshells, and I think a couple tomatoes. So I am going to wrap this up and get this in here so we can get these guys some food so they can fixate on that and hopefully not crawl all over the basement. Now, in the past, I would have taken this right out of the freezer, wrapped it up, and put it in here. But I let this sit on the counter for a little bit so I could honestly see what was in here more. But I'm probably not going to wrap it up as much as normal because while it is cold, those are very capable worms. They can move away. And what I'm going to do is I made a little bucket kind of here. All right. We got a little bit of everything in there for them. And my thought is, even though it is cold, it is frozen, I'm not really worried about flies right now. So I'm just going to take this paper and we're just going to loosely cover it. So hopefully there's no worms over there in what I just tossed. There's probably a few that I missed, but this is going to solve 2 problems. We're going to cover this up, so if there are any flies or creepy crawlies that we don't invite to our party here, it's going to take them a little bit more work to get to the food. But also, I don't know if you could tell, but that coconut core is pretty dry. So even though there's a ton of moisture, or there was a ton of moisture in here, between the coconut core and the bedding that came in with the new European Nightcrawlers versus just being dry in Colorado, hopefully some of the moisture from that frozen fruit will wick up into here. But I think we're going to have to add a little bit of water. So I've got some water that I left sitting out, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on here because even though it's only been a few days, I can tell that it is already drier in here, which is kind of concerning because we're in the basement. It's mostly a controlled area, but you know, it is what it is. And since we have our new oyster shell flour, it's at 1 tablespoon per feeding per pound. Since I don't have a spoon or anything, we're just going to give it a quick little dusting to mix in here. And considering I don't think there's anything in here grit-wise in the bin, hopefully they don't mind however much we put in, which I think is probably less than a tablespoon anyways. So we'll give that a quick little nudge. But I don't want to mix them up too much because there's clearly a lot of activity up here on the top these days. All right, so the first feeding is done. We are really just going to hope for the best at this point, and hopefully those worms will gravitate to the food once it's fully defrosted. And at least fixate on eating before they start roaming. But I'm already thrilled that between yesterday and today, when I open up the bin, I'm not seeing as many of them circling around the edges. So fingers crossed it was just related to the thunderstorms that we were having, and they can get settled in here soon. So was this when I was going to give them their first feeding? No, but it is what it is, and here's hoping that they find it and start munching on it soon. All right, friends. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. My name's Alessandra, and these are our new European night crawlers and a handful of red wigglers in our urban worm bag. Hope to give you guys some good updates soon. Bye.